get started today. Got a couple things to work on. We'll see how long the stream goes, but let's get started. So first thing today I want to work on is we're going to just do a quick rename. So we've been interchanging clues and knowledge in our game in a couple places. So I want to make sure we align on that, and we've decided we're going to just stick with knowledge. They can be used like clues, but they can encompass more than that, so I think it's just a little bit more straightforward that way. So first I want to go into our journal, and we have a clues panel, so we're going to just start renaming our components here to just keep everything accurate there. So we're going to have a knowledge panel and knowledge label. The actual text of the label was clues before. It's going to be updated to knowledge. We were already using knowledge list, but we do have a clue description text, which will be changed to knowledge description. And we also have a clue animation blocker. That'll be knowledge animation blocker. And that looks good from the UI or the node standpoint. The script itself is also called clues panel, so we're going to go into our source scripts and find that in our UI section, so that it can be renamed as well to knowledge panel. Opening that up, let's see what is. So we got class name was clues panel, so we're going to want to rename this to knowledge panel. That means we're probably using this in the journal itself. Yep. So let's keep following this through for a minute. We'll do a search at the end to make sure that we don't miss any cases of clues, but in the meantime we can just kind of chase things around. So in here we've got a bunch of places where that clues panel is used. We'll get those all updated. I guess just to show real quick what this is in reference to, so that's a little helpful for context. Oh, actually it's in a broken state because I'm in the middle of the changes. That makes sense. So let's keep working on that first. Or fix the issues that come up as I try and run it. Got another one here. We're probably gonna have to reassign some of these variables. We'll see as we go. Yeah, the knowledge panel needs reassigned. So let's add that. And try that again. All right. Okay, we have a couple places in this where that was being used. Makes sense. Let's try again. Alright, just to show quickly, this is the panel that we're talking about. So we'll see it said clues up here until a moment ago, and it says clues on the right hand side here. So we're just going to continue the change, but I just wanted to provide context of what we're talking about. Okay, so continuing this, we have does clues show up anymore in this one? No. So let's go back to our knowledge panel, search for clues in here. Okay, so we have clue a couple more times in here. We have new clue. This we'll just find this and replace it with new knowledge wherever we used it. So this is just the code when you successfully brainstorm. It's gonna actually create a new knowledge sticky note in the book. had updated here the clue. We have clue description. This will now be knowledge description. And clue animation blocker will be knowledge animation blocker. And then resulting clue container, resulting knowledge container. Which actually does still need renamed on the side here. Missed that because it was in the middle. Okay. So let's go through and find the spots that are red. We have a few more spots with clue in here. We have write new clue, which we can rename to write new knowledge. And then I saw at least one for loop type thing, but we have a couple more. Okay, so click clue. We'll name this click knowledge. And it's only used one spot, which is good. So let's update that. We have create clue, which will be create knowledge. A little bit grandiose, but I think we'll know what it means. A couple more, insert knowledge. And create knowledge. We missed one spot. Okay, and then in try combination, we were specifically taking clue 1 and clue 2, so this will now have to be knowledge 1 and knowledge 2. So we will do that. Okay, actually this is also referring to the ones in the combinations, which is why it's still yellow, because combination is not sure that that has it yet, because it doesn't. So we need to go over to where we define our clue combinations. Sorry, not our clue combinations. Let me go back. So we have a what is this? 1 second. So knowledge combination. So this was already called knowledge combination, good, but we still got to update these to be knowledge 1 and 2 instead of clue 1 and 2. Alright. But we do want to update our one I brought up here, clue combinations. So that script will be somewhere here. No. Actually, that'll be in our data because it's just a kind of a lookup area. So we'll rename that clue combination, our knowledge combinations, but we will also need to go update that in our project. It's an auto load global, so let's just find that. So we got our clue combinations here, becomes knowledge combinations. So now we go back here, and this will get changed to knowledge combinations as well. Actually, both these spots. Alright, let's give it another run and just see if anything else is complaining first. Oops. I'm gonna just check the journal, open the clues, and it looks like it broke probably on the hover action, so let's switch back to Godot and see. Alright, I think it just lost its reference to our knowledge description. So if I go to our knowledge panel, oh yeah, we just need to reset these exports to our blocker, our knowledge description, and our resulting knowledge container. All got reset because of the name changes, and that's fine. Alright, trying this again. Alright, so that looks to be back in working order mostly. I need to still update the actual tab here to say knowledge, so let's go do that. So that will be in our journal panel, our subtabs. Instead of clues tab, we want knowledge tab, and clues button, same will be knowledge button. And then we can actually update the label as well, or the text on the button. So yeah, now it says knowledge and knowledge, so let's make that all aligned instead of saying clues in half the place and knowledge in the other half. So I think that's good, but we will do a quick check through the search of the code just to make sure there's no other areas. So, or no, instead of knowledge, clues. So there's a small dialogue line here that mentions clues, so I'm just going to make a note to review if this needs change later with the other member I work with. Review, this should be knowledge. It probably should be something along the lines of, I should review what I know, you know. So I'll just add that as a suggestion. Okay, so that's one thing to look at later. We've got a couple references in game still, so I'm gonna look at that in a minute, but first let's try and fix this event. So open clues I can just replace with open knowledge. Let me just double check as I do these changes, so that will be good. That'll be good. That'll be good as long as I change the rest of it in this file. Okay, so that part's good. Going back to our clues search, we have, so in our journal panel, we're still referencing the clues button. So I'm going to do that change in Godot just to get some extra feedback as I go, but let's go take a look. All right, so we hit clues button here still. Let's name this knowledge button. That will probably also, that's probably also what the reference in the game scene is. So hopefully this will fix both or change both remaining ones. We have a on clues button pressed here, so it'll need to be updated to on knowledge button pressed. So we're going to need to rehook up that that signal. Okay, so if I go to journal panel, we need to update our knowledge button, like dragging it back over. In the actual knowledge button, we need to check its signal. And yeah, this is the one that needs reconnected, so I'm going to disconnect it and go to the journal here, filter. Oh. I don't know what I did there. Collapsed something in a weird way. Alright, let's try again. Journal. No, something. Okay, it's because I had collapsed the notebook panel. So in the journal panel, we're gonna just want to pick it to make sure we get the same name, but it should be correct. On knowledge button press. So let's hook that back up and reconnect that. Okay, great. So I'm just going to do a quick test there, make sure that button's still working. Okay, so knowledge, yeah, brought me to the knowledge tab, and still gets highlighted and, extended and things like that all fine, so that's good. Let me just do one more check of the code, see if there's anything else. So I'm going to search for clues again. So there's the one dialogue piece, and then let's make it clue. Okay, there's a few more for clue. So we've got a signal, we can change in here again. So open knowledge dialogue instead. Double check as we change them. And that looks good. Okay, back to the word clue. So looks like the actual dialogue panel is still called clue in this game scene there. So let's go take a look. So that would be down here. Yep, we've got still clue dialogue panel. Let's rename this knowledge dialogue panel. And then I think that probably, no, that reuses that script, so that one's fine. The script itself will need a small update because it had is clue panel, but we'll want that to be is knowledge panel. Panel's not the clearest word here, so since I'm changing this, I'm going to call it is knowledge dialogue. This is because we have our normal dialogue for like in-game things, but we needed a separate layer to have it in front when we need to, in front of the notebook, where normally we want the notebook on top because of being able to, pause during dialogue and things. So, but yeah, I'm gonna just update this to is, instead of is clue panel, is knowledge dialogue. I think there'll only be a few spots. Yep, that looks good. And let's make sure we need to re-enable the actual flag there to tell it that it's that one. Okay, good. Heading on back, if we search clue again, a few less. So we have our knowledge manager. Clue message set. I think this can be knowledge message, yeah. So let me use that for knowledge. We'll just replace it here. And then we have two more to replace here. Those look good. This also. This is actually gonna need reworded slightly because we already have a knowledge in this. So let me go back over to Godot and we'll take a look at the knowledge manager. So opening that up, that'll be in our scripts managers, knowledge manager. So knowledge is our list of entire knowledge, but in here we want a specific knowledge. So where do we want this? For now I'm going to choose to go verbose. Let me think on it a little. So we'll just call it individual knowledge and think on it for a moment. I think I'm going to, it's only used in this case. I think I'll go with specific knowledge. I think that fits my brain a little better. Okay, cool. If we go back, we look up clue again. Now there's only that one, the dialogue. So that should be everything. I'll do one more quick check, make sure nothing explodes when I run Godot, and then I think that's the majority of that change done. So taking a look, for knowledge panel. Yeah, we still have our list of knowledge, and we're still moving around, so I think that looks good. Yeah, I'll actually commit that now, just so we can move on to our next change. So let's double check everything is as we intended. So yeah, we renamed knowledge. These are delete and update, so it's a rename, should be fine. We have our to-do here, just letting us know what we want to change or look at in the future. We renamed the 2 signals in our event system. This was the specific knowledge we just came across at the end there. And another change of the use of the signal name. Let's commit our renaming of the clue and knowledge panel so we can get a better look. So in here we can see all of the references being changed. Looks good to me. Got our dialogue, our references to clue in our dialogue changed to be the is knowledge dialogue. That looks good. And a few more here, just referencing the panel and the actual pieces of knowledge in our knowledge combination here. So that looks good. Same on our journal panel itself, and then game I just want to give a quick look to, but should be pretty safe. No, that's different. Okay. Yeah, and going down to the changes here. These are all just the path changes since we renamed the panel. And same down there. Okay. And that's the signal change. Okay. All looks good. So rename clue to knowledge to a line there. Alright, let's mark that one done and look at what's next. Okay, so next we have an issue where some of the journal tabs don't update. Whenever you open them, they're only updating when you switch to them. So the problem we can have with that, let's see if I can show that real quick. So I open my journal, I go to sketches, say. This will be the first sketch you can get in the game, which is the sunburst right outside the library here. So if I have this open, I close it, and I collect this sketch. You can see it's supposed to be added to our journal, but if I open it, we see that it's not showing here unless I switch and switch back, and then we can see the art loads in. So I'm going to work on this next, just trying to make sure that whenever these are opened up, for example, whenever you open the journal, all of these refreshes are made if appropriate. So I'm not sure the exact change there, but we'll just take a look. Okay, so let's close everything but the journal panel, since this should be related. So we know when we open a specific panel like this, we can call cases panel.update, but we want to make sure. How do we want to make sure that, I think just any time the journal panel's visibility changes, we can just kind of call an update to all, just to kind of make, because it can change from code outside here, so we can't actually monitor everything. So let's just add in a listener to this, our signal from, so if I'm going to open up our notebook canvas, go find our journal here, and we can just set a visibility change signal on the panel itself. And now in here, we just want to call all of these updates just to make sure if the panels, I guess technically we should only do it if we're visible. So let's grab all our things. So the order here is cases, contacts. Oh, this is open character still. That'll be contacts later. I can change that real quick just to fix one spot. So open characters will become open contacts, because that was the old name. And we'll complain here and here. We'll rename the signal later. Okay, so we want cases panel update contacts panel dot update knowledge grabbed, and then sketches and achievements. Even if achievements aren't going to be in this demo, we still want to continue to build support for them. So achievements panel and sketches panel. So now whenever our journal panel becomes visible, or its visibility change, which should happen even if its parent does, you know, it might have a problem with that actually, because we're making a canvas visible or not. So we're gonna have to test that and see. If not, we'll just be able to use this somewhere else. But on the visibility changed, if visible, update all the panels. So let's see if this works first, and otherwise we can go take a look at our notebook script and kind of call a function here to update all. So I'll clear my save so we can test the same scenario. Get through our quick intro here. So I'll open up, I'll switch over to sketches. We see we don't have one. We'll check hang the flower, open it up, and yeah, no, that worked fine. So that now, rather than needing to switch away and switch back to see the update, you can see it immediately. That should work as well for things like bios automatically, but we can go test it real quick just to be sure, because that was one of the original spots we had found it. So when we talk to the first person over in the bureau, we'll get a new bio and be able to just make sure that it updates in the book correctly without needing to switch away and switch back on that tab. So I'll skip through the dialog here. We'll see again we have contacts open on that page. We're going to just talk to her. We'll see she was added to our contacts. And yeah, there we go, updated. Okay, cool, wasn't too bad. So let's, I'm gonna get that committed as well, and we'll see what we want to do next. So it looks like two too many spaces. Okay. Oh, it was because I had been planning to write the connector up there, but we ended up just hooking it up on the button itself. Okay, so we have a new on visibility change. If visible, we call our 5 updates, and then we had just renamed this one spot of characters to contacts, but we'll need a bigger change for that. So let's, and this is just the new signal. Okay, let's commit this, and then we can maybe work on updating the rest of characters to contacts just to make sure we're good there. Okay, so this is fix issue where open journal pages wouldn't refresh when book is reopened. I guess journal, when notebook. Yeah, looks good. file. Always nice of it to let me know. Alright, and commit change stage. Push that up. Okay, that's good. So I want to just fix this issue of we have open characters as an event and things of that nature still. So let's try and just quickly look and see what needs changed there. So that'll be open contacts. Now, change this event. Same there and same there. Let's see where else characters comes up. Okay, we have characters in art actually makes sense. That's fine. Conversations characters is fine. That's not to do with this panel. So this in the journal panel, we'll just want to make this on contacts button pressed, because I think otherwise that's not updated. It looks like that's it. So just a small change to fix this up. So we're gonna rename this on contacts button press. That'll break the connection here, but we can open up our tabs. Contacts, this button, disconnect it. Sorry, I've got to find our journal. Journal panel, and then we want to make sure we're on contacts button pressed. And we'll see the little signal arrow come back up. That should be it. So I'm just gonna commit that as well. So we've changed our signal name from characters to contacts. Our signal name there, and here as well. And down here is just the button one. Okay, looks good. Few leftover characters when we renamed to contacts. Okie dokes. Okay, another small bug I'd like to look at, just because we're trying to prep for demo, is an input issue potential. So if I go to our input map, yeah, we had done oopsie in our default setup. The controller pause has got both button 6 and button 4, which is start and select, or depending on your device, how you'd refer to them. But we actually want that the controller map is 4 at first, so we don't want to obviously click both at once. So this is a really quick one, but I just want to remove that from our defaults. So if I close this, open up our controller rebinding, reset, we should just make sure there's no overlap between those two buttons. So yeah, by default, you could see it was showing an overlap between these, but if I reset now and re-grab our defaults, it didn't work. Why not? Let's reopen it. Nope. Alright, let's take a look. What is controller pause? Since this is in dev, I'm just going to delete that file and check again, because I think the defaults might get saved. Let me see. Forget how we set that up, it's been a while. So yeah, our default input map actually gets saved is the problem there. So if I just delete that, and then I rerun, reopen, it'll be wrong still because we didn't reset yet, but now when I reset, there we go. So now by default those buttons won't have any overlap, which is a good but easy fix. Okay, so let me just commit that as well. So we just want to remove overlap in default inputs between controller pause and controller map. All right, and pushing that. Okay. Another thing we want to, this one might not be an issue, but it might, we want to test is it's unlikely someone will have days worth of playtime in our game, but we just want to make sure the interface handles it in case more than 24 hours I'm talking. So if I go to our exit, you can see there's a playtime string here. We just want to make sure it wraps correctly and stuff. So we've tested this before with last save. So we're just going to do the same real quick with playtime here. So we'll need to fake it, obviously, to not have that time take forever. So I just need to find that first. So I think that will be in our base settings. No, where was that? Save manager, am I remembering correctly? Alright, so save manager has our playtime seconds. Let's find out where this is used. Alright, so get current playtime is gonna return the value from our save plus the difference since the last time we saved, since this number we want to update even if we haven't saved. So I'm gonna just add some big amount of seconds and we'll see how the UI handles it. I think that's approximately, I don't remember, a week? Something like that. We'll see. So I believe that's all we'll need to do to test this out. So if we go here, all right, so we see it is not handling it very gracefully. There's clearly some sort of issue here. It should be able to use the same formatting code as this, so I want to just go see what the difference is now, since we obviously don't want it to look like this. Okay, so we'll go see where that's being used. So get current playtime is used in here. And all right, this is, we have get formatted time is also used, I believe, separately for last save. Yeah, so that's an issue of because we're not reusing this code, it's handling it differently. So where could we put this to make it reusable in a better way? We can get them both open in Godot here so we can take a look. Oh, where were those? That's in UI. Are they both in UI? Yeah, so playtime and last saved are the two I'm looking for. Okay, so we've got two copies of this get formatted time, but I think we're going to want them formatted the same way for this. Yeah, so let's make something to help with that. Does it belong with anything we have, or does it need to be something new? So kind of, I think it fits as like a static type class. We want something that's just a utility where we can just call this function from, basically. So I forget how to do that in Godot, but we'll find out real quick, I'm sure. So let's set it up as a utility first. We'll call it time formatter. that up. I don't know if this would, I feel like this isn't quite a resource, but it's not a node either. Class, name, time. Oh, actually the most similar to this is actually our event system. I could just go peek at that code, see what we did. So that's a node, that's fine, and then we just have, we call like events dot whatever, and that's, okay, so that should be straightforward. So we're gonna go, the correct one is the last save, which handles days and hours, so I'm gonna copy that version. Give the right amount of spacing, and then I'm going to delete this from here, and then where it is called, I'm going to instead call it time formatter. Nope, why would you erase for me? It was time formatter dot get formatted time. It's a non-static function, so I will static static func probably. Alright, and now are you happy? Yep. Okay, so then when we go to now playtime, we can get rid of its version as well. And it'll have the same thing, time formatter dot get formatted time. If you hear my cat, it's just a cat. Okay, so let's try that with the new shared formatter code and see if we get a better view or if it needs wrapping or whatnot. It probably, I think it looked like it needed wrapping actually, but okay, so that looks better, but we'll have it wrap in the same way. So let me go take a look at that. So that'll be in the actual UI nodes. Okay, so in exit panel, we have our playtime. I think it's just set to, doesn't have auto word. I mean auto wrap. How does it work? Oh wait, last save time is, I'm just looking at the wrong one because they're upside down. So this one has it auto wrap on word. We'll do the same on this. Go to our exit panel, and that looks a lot better. Okay, so if someone, for some reason, leaves the game running for 25 hours, 1 minute and 18 seconds, it'll handle it. That looks good to me, and I will get that committed. So we have our new, this is just the copied code from before, but split out into the formatter. We use that in this one, and we use that here. I don't want to commit the additional 90,000 seconds for a playtime, so that's why you always review. And then this is just the auto wrap we needed to turn on. So, create static time formatter and use for both last saved and playtime. Fix playtime display for long playtimes. Okay, another one off the list. Oh, I gotta actually commit that or pull first. 1 second, so let me undo that. Pull. see the message in the chat. I just had missed it till now, but that's good. Okay. So that's another one off the list. Let me see what I should work on next. Okay. I mentioned for demos, we're not going to have achievements. So I want to take a quick look at if that's going to be easy to turn off or not. And if it is, I'll do that now. So we have a flag, like a feature, I think they call it in Godot, and it's not the search. No, os.has feature. Yeah. So we have one for demo. So basically, if we have this demo flag, we want to ignore some code. So I'm going to open up our toast manager first. And when we get an achievement toast, we're only going to want to actually show this if we don't have the demo feature. And then to start setting up for, so in our main menu we have a few things that only show in a demo. So let me open that up. So in our scenes, states, main menu, we have things like this add to wishlist or demo sticky that only shows if we're in a demo. So I want to do the same thing for the achievements. For now, we've just had it disabled this whole time, but it will be good to be able to like test it when not in demo. So if we're not in a demo, it should show. So I'm going to open up our notebook, and that'll be part of our journal. We have our achievements tab. It should be on, but we want to add now that same demo build script, I think. Let me see what's in that. So we go to script, demo build. So this one actually is opposite, is only show it if it is demo. So I'm gonna make a new one real quick that is, or do I want to just add a bool here? This isn't the clearest name either, demo build, so I'm probably gonna rename it and add a bool and just have one thing that handles. So var show in demo bool, we'll default it to false just for clarity. So then if the feature and this demo bool match, wait, if the so if we're in a demo and we show in demo build, yeah, so if they match, show, actually if they're equal, so if we want to show in the demo and we're in the demo, show, otherwise hide, and then it can be used for both. And we'll call this demo visibility. So then I can just throw that on this achievements tab, and for it I want, I want to export this so we can change it in the editor. So this one we want to not show in demo, but on the main menu we do want to show this one in demo. So if I go to the demo sticky here, show that in demo. So now if I play, demo sticky's not here, which is good, but achievements is here because I'm not in a demo. I'll test the whole making a demo build and things later, but that's step one. Obviously this UI is not final because it's not going to be in the demo, but okay. And then there was something else I think for this. So I've made the toast, not show. Oh, and then as part of that, the notebook also shakes as well when an achievement occurs. So I want to listen for, or see where I'm listening for the events.achievements.get. So let's just search that real quick. And that one I am looking for is this journal shake. So on achievement get, if we are not the demo, shake. Okay, so with that, if I play this here, I'll just make sure I still do get the shake, and then again, we'll test the rest of it later, but I can get an achievement real quick by trying to steal this chair. So we got new achievement and the shake still, so that should be good. Okay. So I'm gonna go and ahead and commit that now. So that's just, yeah, that's the new. So we want to say hide and disable achievements only when not in demo build. So we're going to commit that. That's just the name change of the script and the new flag state. This is our simple rename and adding the show demo flag, or yeah, bool. Okay, and then our quick disable of achievement toasts just when we're in the demo, and our disable of the actual achievement shakes, shaking of the notebook as well when we're in the demo. Okay, so that's another one down. Alright, I will take a quick break and then come back with the next thing I'm going to work on. So let me just send it over to break for a moment. back. I'm going to keep working through some cleanup items as we try and approach our demo setup. So I've taken a look at my list, and I think the next one I'm going to do is if we have one puzzle in the demo, you kind of can rebuild a sticky note, repair it that had been ripped up to figure out the password on it. If you skip that puzzle, we recently did some work to kind of fix the layering of the puzzle pieces themselves, but now the skip puzzle dialog appears below the puzzle. So I'm gonna start by turning on a debug flag and giving myself the puzzle early in the game so we don't have to play through the whole thing. So luckily we already have that commented out here since we've had to do this before. And then I just can turn on debug in the game, so I'll get that right away. And so first I'll show the issue and then we can see how to fix it. Alright, so playing that, we can drag the puzzle onto Aster to see the interface. You can drag and drop your puzzle pieces, move them around. If they're close enough to the right spot, they'll snap into place. But since you're able to skip the puzzle, we used to have the same issue here, but if you skip the puzzle, these pieces will show up on top of the new case menu. So yeah, you can see there the case solved, or puzzle solved dialog. So we're just going to need to kind of fix the layer depths there, I think. So we need to bring the puzzle solved up. It shouldn't be as high as the notebook. You still want that to be on top, I think, but otherwise it should be above all these pieces. So let's take a look at what the layers are right now and what we need to fix. Okay, so if I go in our node list here, we've got our puzzle panel. Our sticky notes are special in that they get their layers set via code as you drag and drop them. So if I open puzzles here, puzzle piece, you can see that as we're dragging it around, it becomes index 2. When we let go, it becomes index 1. I have another bug I think I can fix at the same time here. This is moving the child up in the list, which helps fix some. I'll show the issue quickly for this as well, so I'll keep this open. But basically, we want to make sure that they're going to be at index 1, so we want the puzzle solved panel to be at index 2. So if we go in here, we go to ordering, we can set this to 2, and hopefully that should be all we need to do here, but let's take a look. And then I'll show you the other bug while we're there, see if we can fix it at the same time. So we're drag our puzzle on again, and the other issue before I do the skip is that if I drag this piece and put it down, and I drag another piece over it, well, I want the one that I'm hovering to still be the one that gets the mouse events, basically. With Godot, naturally, it's based on your order of your the ordering in the node tree. So something lower down in the list is in front, or vice versa, but I think it's that way. So basically, when we let go of a piece, it moves up in the tree, and we drag another piece over it, and you can see the issue there is that now that underneath piece is being highlighted, where it should be still the one that my mouse is on, right? It does if I let go of it and then pick it up again, then it works, but we want to make sure that as you drag over, you don't have the highlights being weird and unpleasant. So I'll try to do that fix in a second, but in the meantime, let's do the skip puzzle and see if we're getting the correct layering now. Alright, so this now is over top all the pieces, it's great, and I can still open the notebook, which is good. Alright, so let's stop that. And I think to fix this, I just need to move them up in the to move them around in the node tree. You can use move child and give it an index. So this is moving it to the end. So I think I just need to do that as soon as you've started clicking it, rather than waiting till after you've let go of it, because I think that will fix the layering bug there. So so we place this on Aster again, we drag a piece, and we drag another one, and there we go. Now it stays highlighted, which is good. And then I let go, I can still highlight either. If I leave it there and then come back, that one gets highlighted as the priority. I can move it aside, still grab this one, so that's good. And it still appears on top of the place pieces, which is good. So I think that looks all good now. Okay, great. 2 bugs for 1, or in the span of 1. And we're still good there. Okay, cool. So let me commit that. So I don't need to commit the debug change. I don't know if I have any other puzzle ones, so I'll leave it for a moment. But we can commit this change here with moving just when we update the tree, the hierarchy tree ordering, and then in our puzzle solved, it was just simply changing the index. So fix issue with puzzle solved appearing below unplaced puzzle pieces, and fix issue with dragging puzzle pieces losing highlight when dragged over recently dragged piece. A little bit of a mouthful, but it's clear, and that's my priority there. Alright, so let's push that up, and I'll take a look at what the next thing I want to take on is. Okay, just updating my to-do list, one moment. Okay, so next is a small one, well, hopefully small, we'll see. We just want to change an accessibility setting name. So originally it was dialog button animation, but we want to call it glyph button animation because we want it to also impact the like journal and map tutorial prompts that come up. And we want people to be able to turn off that extra motion if it bothers them. So let's go take a look at our settings to start with the actual renaming in the UI and go from there. So in scripts UI, we have our settings menu. Is that the correct? No, wait, this is scripts. I want scenes. That's why. So we go to scenes, UI, settings, and just I'll show you what it looks like currently. So if we go to the accessibility, we can see we're talking about this one here, dialog button animation. So by default, it was only, if I show you dialog, it's controlling this bounce effect. But we're gonna we also have it affecting the enter, or if I give you a controller prompt like the X or whatever. We also have it controlling that for like the new case panel or the puzzle solved panel and things like that. So since we have that, we wanted to kind of rename it anyways, but yeah, we think it can also include, if I start a new game, I can show you the journal prompts, or the journal tutorial prompt that comes up, and we want it to also affect that. So that's why we're just going to rename it. So yeah, I mentioned it's yeah, this one as well, this, and the tutorial prompt here, whether it's for PC or controller. Okay, so taking a look, that will be in the, if we go here, accessibility, so it's this dialog button animation label is going to become glyph, let me double check, glyph button animation. So let's try and spell glyph correctly. And we'll want to rename the actual control nodes as well. So glyph button animation label, glyph button animation toggle. So that should be enough for the UI side of it, but we like to try to keep things aligned if we can. So I'm going to go through and just kind of update the code accordingly as well. So we'll do a bit of another refactor dive through and find all these things. So looking for dialog button animation. Why is that? Did I not save the scene yet? No, I did not. Okay. So first, okay, that actually is good, but now we want to look at the actual settings it's controlling. So in our settings menu here, we have dialog button animation button. Dialog button animation button here, which is a mouthful as well. We'll call that glyph button animation button. There's somewhere in here it's used. Here we go. And then it's actually using a setting called, I just want to post or put the old one here just to, okay, it looks like it was only the one spot. So it's using this setting. So let's look wherever that's used. And we're gonna replace that with glyph. So those all look good to me, so I'm gonna replace them. And same here. And it looks like same here, looks good. Same with our default setting. And our when we want to check the button animation, same there, we want to use this new setting. Same for this. That looks right to me. And then we just want to make sure the signal gets updated. This should be fine, but we'll double check in Godot's interface to be safe. So we'll look down here, we'll go to its toggled on event and just double click and make sure it's going to the new function. Yeah, that looks good. So I'm gonna delete my settings. It would technically, it should just treat it like a new setting, which means it will, I guess I'll test it real quick, make sure it doesn't explode from having a new setting, but I'm gonna delete it just because we don't use that old setting anymore. So it did explode, so that's why we test. So actually this looks like it's just a reference issue. So let's take a look. Something here will be null or not assigned. Yep. So this is the toggle option. That's just to make it match the state when it gets first loaded. Alright, glyph button animation. Looks good. If I toggle it off, no errors. If I toggle it off, we'll just test it for a dialog real quick. That is not correct. What? Okay, that's strange. I'm gonna add that as a new bug because I'm not sure why that was invisible for a moment. So dialog next button was invisible on game start with animate glyph buttons off. So I just don't want to forget that. But otherwise we see that it's not moving, so that's good. And actually I just show it with the controller icon as well. So that's good. And then if I go and turn that on, and close that, and then it moves again. Okay, so it looks like the rename is good there, and it's hooked up properly. I will separate out the work to actually use it for the tutorials and stuff, so I'm just going to review and get this part of it connected now because it's still an improvement. So what is the change here? Glyph looks good there. Okay, those look good. And then in our global settings, we've got the 4 changes there. Looks good. And again, and our default setting looks good. And again, we don't need to commit our debug at the moment. And then this is using that setting, so that is also good. Same here. And last one. Yep, that looks good as well. Okay, I see there was another push, so let me pull first. And then I'm going to go ahead and commit mine. So this is rename dialog button animation to glyph button animation. Is that how you spell glyph? I always forget because that's a weird looking word. Yep, that looks good. Okay, so that's step 1 here. So I'm pushing that. And then let's hook that up for our tutorial buttons as well, just to use that setting. So if we look at like case panel here, you can see how we check button animations. So we're probably going to basically copy that for the tutorial buttons. So let's go find that. So in our game, oh wait, that's main menu. That's why I'm confused. In our game, and if we go into the top UI, we have our tutorial buttons. They have actually an animation player, which is running their animation. So this pulse animation here. Let me see. I forget how it's being triggered. Okay, so it's being played here. So we basically just want to say only do that if glyph button animation is true. So that should be enough to do the change. Just trying to think. So this won't change the tutorial flashing state. It won't change it if the tutorial prompt is already open. So I think we might want to listen for that event and just update it. It's not a big important thing. It's mostly going to be to make it easier to test. I think we already have a settings dot change. No. Okay, that would be a new event. So I don't think it's worth it in that case. I think the tutorials only come up once and they're dismissed by just doing the action a single time. So this is more, if you set it up beforehand, we want to respect that. But I don't see it as a case where you have a prompt open, you leave it open, you go change the setting, and then are very bothered when it doesn't go stop, because you can dismiss it just by pressing the button once. So hopefully that's true enough. But let's test this out and make sure that it only plays that first time if you have this setting on. So first, let's have this setting on. Clear our save, make sure we haven't done open the journal before. Get through this intro dialogue. And we can see it is still pulsing. So that's good. If I close that, and I change the setting now, and clear my saves. I don't think I opened it, but actually no, I did because I had to for... anyways, it's fine. I open it, or get through the intro dialogue again. This time it should not shake. And it does not. That's good. Alright, perfect. Okay. So I'm going to turn that back on just because it's my preference, and I will get that committed. So this is stop tutorial buttons from pulsing if glyph button animation is off. Oh, looks like another commit. I will do that. Grab that first. So undo the commit. Let's pull. All right, and then let's commit that again and push. Okay, so let me update my to-do list again. So that's 2 more items down. Okay, next is going to be a small, a little bit of a fiddly thing, I guess, but something I want to do just as a cleanup task. So if I go into our game here, we'll see that if I go to, say, if I open our notebook and I look at our main section tabs, there's simply a button with a tab shadow color rect under them. Let me open the notebook up so we can see briefly. It might be hard to see on the stream, but you might get the idea. So there's a very thin, very faint shadow under our notes, sticky notes. We just wanted to make sure things didn't come off feeling too flat. So it's pretty subtle, but it gives you a bit more just like it feels a little better, basically, even if almost subconsciously. So we have the same on the right hand side here, but they were done in different ways, and this one just leads to a little extra stuff in our nodes, basically. So the difference is the side on the left there is simply this shadow that's added under these buttons. On the right, instead, you can see here it's a shadow and button within a VBox, and that is not not a big problem, but it's just a little messier, and for one, it will just make things a little cleaner when we're kind of coming here and working on things, right? You have your buttons and you can see them all under your list easily and things of that nature. But more than that, it's just like, you know, our game is open source, so if someone's wanting to take a look or whatever, it can make it cleaner for either them to look at or even to like use parts of it for a future game, right? So I just want to take some time to kind of work on cleaning that up, and we'll see how long that takes. So we have our sub-tabs for the journal, but that's going to be similar sub-tabs for like the settings pane and a few other sections, I think, like some of the license and credits parts and things like that. So let's take a look. So I'm going to make this visible for now, just to be able to see what we're working with. I'm noticing there's going to be one small issue, is that this demo visibility script I had put on the VBox is fine, but I don't know if I'm able to put that. I think I'm not going to be able to put that on this achievement button itself, so I'm going to need to make this something that can. The way we often do this kind of thing, like use pointer, is have it be a sub thing that affects its parent. So I'm probably going to want to make a demo visibility object that we move on to the parent. So I guess we'll start with that, since we can see it's going to be an issue. So I'm going to add a new node under this, call control node. We're going to call it demo visibility. We're going to add on our demo visibility script. That is in this demo folder. And then for this one, we want it to be when showing demo is false, so that's fine, that will be the default. But we're going to update this script to instead point to the parent, or call on the parent. So we can simply do get parent.show and get parent.hide. This means we'll just need to update this in the main thing as well. Actually, we're going to want to make sure to tell this specifically. These are about control nodes. Otherwise, it's going to say we're not 100% sure that has a hide, right? So this way we're being more explicit there. Yeah, okay. I misspelled this. Visibility. But we can now turn that into a packed scene here. So let's go to our objects and just drag it onto that. That's good. And now I will remove that script there. And we will go to our main menu to update the one that's there as well. So states, main menu. We've got our script on here, demo visibility. This one we will want to be on, but we'll remove this. We'll throw on that new object and turn it on here. Okay, so that's part one, to deal with that issue. Now, if we go back here, we can take a look. So if I simply drag this shadow in here, it will keep its position and stuff, so that's good. We're going to want to, the lighting, we've kind of been indicating it's coming from a top left sort of direction. It gives a little bit of a gap on the left hand side. I don't think we'd have a gap on the left hand side here, but it would extend a little bit. We've done it in a few other spots like that. So we'll say maybe something like that. And then this we want to actually set to the current ratio to kind of keep it in line with this button. And then that means we should be able to drag this out and be directly in the subtabs here and get rid of this extra VBox that we don't need. So let's just let's test that real quick. I'm going to turn off the canvas and notebook to get it back into kind of the default state. And it should look basically the same as it was before, but sticks out slightly to the right, which gives it a little more directionality. Okay, that looks good. So I'm gonna copy and paste that for all the rest of them. And since they're very similar, it should auto pick them all up. I'll turn the visuals back on so we can be sure. So if I copy this tab shadow and paste it into the button, yeah, it automatically should be grabbing the right length because of how the anchors are set up. Alright, and we've already got this on things like the close button here as well. But since I've got that, I can get rid of the extra tab shadows here. And then we want to, oh, missed one. And we can actually just bring the buttons out under the subtabs again. So the only thing is, since this VBox order manner, so we just gotta make sure that's good. And then those look good, and we can get rid of 4 additional VBoxes. Okay, great. And now we get to do that again in the settings panel here. So I'm gonna make sure I have one of these copied, and we'll switch our display here. Instead of the journal panel being enabled, we'll enable settings, and we'll go through and do the same process. So paste in the new one for each of the buttons. And then delete the old shadow. And then drag out our buttons into the root of the subtabs. Since I did them top to bottom this time, they should be the same order already, which is good. And then now we can get rid of these 5 VBoxes we don't need. Alright, cool. And we're going to want to do that once more, I think, in licenses and credit, or twice more in licenses, credits, and then I think in the main settings as well. So I'll open both those up. So in here, yeah, we had already done it for the close button and the credits and licenses on this side. Main section buttons, but we want to do it just for these inner buttons. So let's paste in our button, or our new shadow to each of them again. Delete our old one. Drag them out. And delete those VBoxes. Something is different about this one, but why? So something's happening here. Why are these are becoming wider than the game ones? I'm wondering if they have some different expand property or such. So let me take a moment to look at this. So we have shrink begin. Is that the same as we have for these ones? So let's change that and that, and then if I drag it out, there we go. All right, so that was all that was. So let me do that for all of them. Okay, and now we can get rid of those V-boxes again. So that's for our credits. We can do the same thing in licenses here. So let's get our license subtabs, put our new shadow on, I think it's just these two buttons. Yeah, and then erase the other shadows. Assuming these will also need their container sizing set to shrink begin. Okay, and then if we drag them out, it should be good, and we can get rid of their. Okay, we may need to fix the button signals. I'm not sure. I think they might lose their path because they're 2 layers or 1 less layer down. So I'm gonna double check that it does or it did select the right thing here. So we're gonna try first and test, but otherwise we'll keep an eye out for that. Okay, let me test the credits and licenses first, and then we'll do the same for the last section, which is the main settings area. So if I go here, yeah, these still work. They still have shadows, look good. And then same for these two, yep, both work and look good. And then we should check the ones in the play area just to be sure. So I left that still open, which I shouldn't, but you can see we've got our settings ones as well, looking good, similar to how we had before with these ones. Okay, so before I forget, let me go back to game and just disable those two visually, the settings panel and notebook canvas, get it back to the default state. And now we can wrap this up with settings. So we're gonna have the same thing of paste in our new tab shadows. And delete the old ones. And let's check our layout. Make sure they're also set to both the shrink begin. They look to be, so if I drag this out, looks good. All right. And that's 5 more V-boxes removed. A lot of this is one of those things where we should have made a better packed scene, reuse more things. So this wouldn't have been such a ordeal, but it's one of those things of you're just trying to push forward and get the game out, and that's more important than always doing things the right way. So, you know, you want to do it as much the right way as you can. So, okay, let me just go and test our settings then, and if that's good, I think I'm able to commit. So they look, they each have a shadow and they all work, so that looks good. I'm noticing a reset to defaults here for accessibility does not have a shadow, and a reset all here, so I'm just going to add those in real quick. They can kind of look like this clear save one, I think, so it should be straightforward. So I'm going to go to the, if I go to the actual settings now, rather than the wrapper one with the notebook and stuff, I'll go to the actual settings menu. Let's take a look at the save data clear saves button. Copy that tab shadow. And then we wanted that for, if we go to not display but controls, we have a reset button here. And same for accessibility. So if I go to accessibility, open this up, I think it's the second one. Yeah, so let's just add a tab shadow on those two. So if I look here, it's got its shadow now. Looks good to me, and same here. Just kind of make sure they all match in style. Okay, great. So again, let's just review our commit and get this one pushed up. So that's our new demo visibility object, which we can drop on something to affect the parent, so that we can have more than one, script on a thing, or not have to have. Here it looks like we got rid of those additional V boxes, so that's just reflected there. That's going to be most of what this change are. Some of these are probably the additional expand mode properties. So I'm just going to do a quick peruse, make sure nothing looks particularly strange. Yeah, okay, those auto update, that's good. Alright, and then same for game here. We've got our new demo visibility one. Updating some of the paths. Moving some V boxes. And signal path updates. Okay. I'm gonna check that one more time real quick just to make sure. I don't think I changed any visible properties, but it's always good to be safe. Or sorry, I don't think I left any changed. I did change it at the time, but okay. And then I am gonna need to pull before I push this, so let me do that while I continue checking. Alright, so main menu is the demo visibility object. That looks good. Settings. More VBox removals. Alright, good. And then the two new tab shadows that we dropped in for the reset button and reset accessibility button. Sorry, reset controls and reset accessibility. And that's good. So, align all pink stickies with new tab shadows and add tab shadows for reset controls and reset accessibility buttons. Okay, let's push that up and take a look at our list. Okay, one more small one for today, and then I think we will wrap up. So this last one is another thing with our tutorial prompts. If I play this quickly and go show you the behavior that we currently have. So once I get through the intro here, the journal tutorial prompt will show up. So looks pretty good as is, or at least, clear on what's asking you to do. If you hit J, it'll go away and you'll get your journal open just to kind of show you that. The issue is we have that we can collapse this top bar to get it fully out of the way. And as you can see, the tutorial prompt then just hangs out and points to nothing, which is not helpful and doesn't look very good. So we just want that when we hit this collapse, that this should also hide from that animation. And when we expand it, it can come back. And ideally, if it might not be the same change, we'll see how big it is. When this tutorial first happens, we also want to, if this is already collapsed, it would be good to roll it out. So like if you're, unlock the map later in the game, but you had your bar closed, we want to expand it, show the map shake, show the map tutorial prompt telling you, hey, be aware you can do this, don't get lost or confused. Okay, so that's what we're going to try and do, is start by just hiding this when we hide this. So let's take a look and see if we want to do that with the actual animation player, or if there was I forget if there's an event for that. So let's see. I'll take a quick water break, actually, one moment. Alright, done the water break. So if we go over to game, we can look at our top UI elements. We've got our tutorial controls here. If we enable them, we can see actually that should be probably disabled, but when we want to show a tutorial, we're listening for the event UI.enableJournal or enabled map, and that triggers the correct tutorial prompt basically. So in this, that's half the thing is that, and then we want to check the actual, when we hit the collapse, is that just causing an event, or is it actually just physically playing the animation? So toggle panel is calling collapse inventory. Collapse inventory is actually playing the animation. So I think part of it we can do is call this event as we wanted, which is the expand inventory. So if we get if we have enable happen, we want to re-emit this. So this is just, again, if it is already closed, when you get this, if it's already closed, when you unlock the journal or the map, it won't really happen with the journal, but when you unlock the map, then we want to expand it. So the other thing is, so when this collapse happens, there's not a whole lot of space where we can kind of show or unshow this. So I think, yeah, we are just going to update the animation player for this. So if I go to row, we're going to just add a a function, and we're going to show this wrapper for the tutorials, the top level tutorial control. Or was it this one? So let's add a function call, or call method track, and this will be called tutorial control, and it will at the same time as, actually at the end of the animation we'll show it, might be a little better. So what time is that? At 0.1. So at 0.1 we're going to call show on this as well. 0.1. And then in the shrink, we'll add the similar one, but for hiding. And it will actually hide at the start, so on the 0th second. So tutorial control again, and we'll insert a new key, and this will be for hide, and that'll happen at the 0 timestamp. Okay, so then let me just double check. I can't remember if these inner ones actually show and hide the stop one well or just themselves. So if we go here, what happens when you actually enable? You just call show. So that should be fine. Okay. So let's test this out. So I'm going to set up a couple things. I'm going to set up that we actually get to the scene where we unlock the map right away, because that will help us test. So we want to go straight to our village entrance, and I think that's all we need to do. So obviously, normally you won't have that still here, but we'll take a look and see if that's something that can be done. It doesn't get hidden when the cinematics or dialogue are hiding the things. Actually, that seems like kind of a separate issue. I will add that as a note. So tutorial prompts don't hide during dialogue or cinematics. But once we get through this initial talk, we can try it out. So we've got a tutorial showing. If I collapse it, it goes away. I bring it out, it comes back. This timing seems good, looks pretty slick. And we'll just test the same for the map. So if I talk to this fine gentleman here, he will unlock our map event. Okay, and both of those work as expected. So the other thing, I want to just redo this real quick and try again, but with the bar collapsed, and we'll make sure it expands when we get the map unlock. So let's go try that out. So this time we will have it collapsed when we chat with him, and it should auto expand. Yeah, obviously timing's a little weird with the cinematic there, but we can take a look at that separately. So I'm just gonna make a note of that though. So inventory expands while Ezeric walks away when you unlock the map. Okay, I think that's gonna be it for today, so let's just go commit this and then we can sign off and wrap up. So commit wise, we've just got that when we're going to show one of these tutorial prompts, we emit the event to expand the inventory, so that's pretty straightforward. And then we're otherwise just updated the animations so that we hide and show the tutorial control parent appropriately when we're hiding and closing the inventory. So this will be open or expand inventory when unlocking journal or map, and hide tutorial prompts when inventory is collapsed. And I gotta pull first. Okay, and let's commit this and push that up. Well, I appreciate anyone joining today. It was a good little chunk of work, I think, and we're continuing to try and wrap up for a demo. I'll send us on over to our end graphic here. But thanks for joining, and take care until next time. Goodbye.